one of both. So we have the lovely Vanessa, who is a beautiful member of the Happy Healthy Women Collective. Vanessa is a trailblazer in our Coquitlam branch, and she is a certified life coach as well. And she is, as I said, in Coquitlam, BC. So it is 9 a.m. where she is. Is that correct, Vanessa? Yes,
Yes,
3 hours.
it is.
Yeah. And for me, I'm here in Toronto. I'm Natalie Colalillo. For those of you who don't know me, founder and CEO of Happy Healthy Women. And it is noon. So welcome wherever you are tuning in from. And thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to have a chat with you today, Vanessa. We haven't really got a chance to just chat and do this interview style yet. So I'm thrilled to be here with you. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm thrilled to be here as well. And yeah, I've been enjoying all of the 20-minute lives with all the other trailblazers. And yeah, so it's fun to be able to be in the hot seat now.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so today we are talking about self mastery. And so before I jump into that, I'd love to ask you to just share your journey with us. So, how did you come to be a life coach? And, what is your mission? What is your purpose? Why are you doing what you do?
Oh, I got the shiver, like just the tingles everywhere. Just, yeah, where it all began was just my own self mastery journey, my own self healing journey. I was in a place where I was super successful as a interior designer, then lighting designer, and I was going day to day, just completely indulged in my work every single day, and I just didn't actually feel awesome about myself. I didn't actually feel proud of all the things that I was doing. Um, and I was beating myself up a lot in order
Mm,
to create the success that I had created for myself. And so I got to a brink where it was just like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I cannot just not live my life anymore. I have to actually take care of myself. And the moment that I started to take care of myself, my body started showing signs. I was feeling super depressed, like go out, party with friends, go home at night and bawl my eyes out just
yeah.
because I just wasn't in a good place. And my friends would never know it because they were, Vanessa's like the positive person who's always there for other people and always encourages everyone else to be amazing. But yeah, I was not being very encouraging to myself. And so my health took a toll. I ended up developing asthma at the age of 35. I had cystic acne. Um, and I had really poor gut health issues. And so that kind of opened me up into this world of self healing and learning about nutrition and changing my lifestyle. And that was, for me, it was just so pivotal. That choice to start taking care of myself was a game changer because that totally opened me up to all the possibilities and all the amazing success that I have achieved now, just because I had made that choice, just because I had made that decision to say, hey, Vanessa, you actually got to start looking at what's going on and stop
Mhm.
hiding and stop buffering and drinking and ignoring what is going on. Because I
Mhm.
totally thought there was something wrong with me until I started to allow myself to see that there wasn't anything wrong with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so that drove me into finding health coaching, and then shortly after that, I was like, okay, mindset is where it's at. I learned about the mind body spirit connection, and I was just like, yeah, the mind piece is where it's at. I know for me, everything that I had created in my life was because of my belief in myself, but at the same time, all of the failures, all of the things that I felt shitty about, excuse me, was
No, no, okay.
just because I had all of these self-deprecating thoughts, And so
Mhm.
now this is what I love to do, what I get to do with my clients is to help them get out of that self-doubt and move into self-mastery and truly be who they truly are and show up without apologies. And that's really what happened with me was like I just showed up, decided what was best for me and never looked back in that sense of like just never thinking that there was anything wrong with me in my past and that everything was set up just the way it was because it was actually serving me.
Yeah, yeah. I love this. And I mean, when you talk about self mastery, right? And and I'm getting a sense that what you're meaning by this is really tapping into the truth of who we are. But I'm going to allow you to explain because I know there's so much more to it. Really, like that is the key, right? It's really just being so whole.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are so many people out there that are even like watching this and feeling like, yeah, this is a great aspect of my life, but I'm not 100% happy.
Mhm.
Like when I wake up in the morning, I still feel like
Yeah.
there's something. So share with us what that means, like what self mastery means to
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you an example, like, so for me, joining Happy Healthy Women was an act of self mastery for me. Like it was just, I had a fear of being in a community of women because there was that fear of what other people will think of me. And
you.
so um, I usually like to use my fears to help me move forward, to help me level up. And that's what I get to do with my clients is help them level up as their true self. And so for me, recognizing that that was my truth at this place in time, I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in on it. I'm going to use that fear to work for me. And I'm going to decide ahead of time that it's not coming from a place of like, oh, I don't care what other people think about me. It's just choosing ahead of time that I belong wherever I choose to be, wherever I place myself, I choose to be long, just, and therefore I can let go of worrying about what other people think about me, right? Because at the end of the day, like what perfectionism, people pleasing, the self doubt all comes from this fear of what other people think of you.
Hmm.
And so for me, it was just like being able to recognize my fear and to be able to not be in fear of it, right? And taking actions to avoid being in groups with other women, right? Instead, I use it to actually serve me. I use it to actually show myself and level up myself to being someone who can be in a community of women, right? And when I made that decision, I just start to activate that. I start to be that person. I start to think and feel as that person, and yeah, and this is where for me it's just building that muscle of letting go of what other people will think of me. Like that fear will always show up as long as I
Hmm.
have a human brain, it will always be there. But this is where it's like I did it from that place of like i'm going to I'm going to use it as a space, as a way for me to practice letting go of that fear, just
Yes.
practicing letting go of that fear. And then when I become familiar with that fear, it doesn't become a problem because I know how to handle it. Yeah.
Totally. This is so, so valuable and so important because, I'm doing a program right now, and what we're learning is all about patterns, right? And habits,
Yes.
and how, like, it's just about those 2 millimeter shifts. And I think that that's what you're talking about is having that 2 millimeter shift. And at first, it's going to feel so scary,
Yeah.
and then it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And but the point is that we decide, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about the power of that decision. Like how have you seen that play out? So obviously you're part of Happy Healthy Women, right? Like you decided to join, and we love you so much. But what, like, in what other ways has that played out in terms of powerful solutions?
Yeah. So I think for me, just being like it actually catapulted me into other decisions.
Mhm.
So as soon as I joined Happy Healthy Women, I had applied for a mastermind that I had wanted to apply for over a year, and so I applied for that, and using what I had learned from making that decision to join Happy Healthy Women, it's like, okay, this is how I'm going to feel. This is the discomfort that I'm going to feel, and then knowing that, okay, learning from this experience, I'm going to apply it to this other experience, and just choosing ahead of time that I belong in this space as well, right? And right now, it's full on like being in a space where, so this mastermind is a 200K mastermind, and for me to level up my thinking to believe that I am a 200K plus coach, this is where it's like, holy crap, like I would have never believed my that about myself, right? But to up level myself, putting myself in that space, making that decision over and over and over again, and every single day, I'm just choosing it over and over and over again. I'm just choosing to believe that I am this person and it's done, and I don't have to try hard. I don't There's no imposter syndrome when you just decide to be that person and you just show up every single day as that person. Because you're just taking action and proving to yourself how you are showing up as this person, how you already have the tools, you already have the skills to be this person. So it's just that, I think in general, just the power of making choices, the power of deciding from that place of love and service for
Mhm.
you and for your people, is just so powerful. So I think that's where it's like, just making one decision launches you into another decision that just keeps serving you and keeps,
Yeah.
and for me, it's helped me in how I coach my clients, and in my clients' own transformation. And it's like anytime I'm learning something, it's like right away I get to apply it with a client. Like this morning, I had a coaching call right before this, and just a sense of belonging. I had journaled about this this morning, and I was able to apply it to the coaching session, and now talking about it here, right, as well. And I know, in my heart, in my bones, that it's going to serve someone out there. Yeah.
Mhm. Love that. Yeah, absolutely. And are we saying that then this like self mastery is really a series of all these little decisions, all these little things that come together over time, and it's a journey, right? Like we never fully reach perfectionism and
Mhm.
or like perfection, and we really that's not real anyway. But like self mastery, meaning that it's all these little things that come together to help us live our very best lives. Yes.
Yeah, it's being able to look at what you have in your life and picking and choosing what works for you, and creating your own way, creating
Yeah.
your own Natalie way of doing things. This is where the world will always tell us what's the right way, what's the wrong way. But this is where it's like, instead of confusing ourselves from trying to pick the right thing, it's like you just choosing ahead of time what it is that works for you. Because you know at the end of the day what will work for you. Right. But
Mhm.
it's just being able to give yourself that space and time to slow down, to actually look, and then be able to kind of choose, okay, this is, this part of coaching, this part of the book that I read recently is working for me. I'm going to try this on and I'm going to test it. And I'm going to, so I teach a whole process where it's very practical for the brain to say, okay, I need to, like, the brain wants to follow a formula of some sort, right? So this is where it's like providing a formula for your brain to follow in order for you to pick and choose what works for you moving
Yeah.
forward. And that
Right.
allows you to show up authentically as yourself, because it's not
Yeah.
going by someone else's book, right? It's not going by what other people think you should be doing, right? It's just going with who you are and what you choose for you. Yeah.
Totally. Yes, this is so, so important and so powerful. And one of the things that I often say is lead with the heart and let the mind come along to compute. And I think what you're offering here is, first of all, a way to get clear on what the heart wants,
Yeah.
and then find a way to get clear on how to allow our brains to compute that, right? And to
Yes.
lead us to the right place. So I love everything that you're sharing with us today, Vanessa. Um, can you share a little bit about how you work with people? So let's talk about you as a coach and your coaching practice, and how does it work? Do you do group programs, one-on-ones? Yeah, share
Yeah,
a little more
so
on that.
I work one-on-one. So I because my mastery is helping people show up as their true self and level up with ease. It's really about honing in on what their story is, their current story is, and being able to take a look at letting go of the pieces that don't serve them anymore, and then attaching pieces, new pieces, because the brain always wants to attach to something, right? That's what gives us that sense of control. And so it's like looking at what story you want to actually create for yourself and living in that story, truly living as that person here, right now, letting go of the future and letting go of the past, and truly just experiencing your life right here, right now, just by living in that breakthrough, that consistent breakthrough of like, okay, fear, all right, I'm going to use you and I'm going to use you to help me break through whatever it is that I'm thinking right now that I don't believe about myself. So I'm going to show myself that way. So that's what I get to do. It's really about like, yeah, having that one-on-one experience is signature to them, right? It's a very intimate experience and very rewarding experience as well. They get to live in breakthroughs consistently over and over and over again, just because of the decisions they're making in every single session. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. And you are creating such an impact for, I mean, Happy Healthy Women is just a small piece of the impact that you're creating. You are doing this everywhere with people everywhere. And I am so, so honored to have you as part of this collective. So I'm going to share your website up here. Did you want to give people next steps in terms of, so one, I was going to say, like, do you have one thing that you can offer that people can start to develop this self mastery? Like, what would be the first step to that? And then also offer next steps if people want to find out more about you. And as you're doing that, I'm going to share your website up here.
Sure. I think the next step is usually it's really just giving yourself that permission to have that space and time to look at your thoughts, to really
Mm-hmm.
be able to see what it is, what story it is that you are creating for yourself at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
and allowing yourself to not be scared of it, right? Like going into the dark places isn't a scary thing. Just deciding ahead of time that it's actually going to serve you to be able to do that. So I think that's the first step. And I actually have a kickstart to self mastery guide that I can share as well, and that helps you develop that story to help you see what that story is and then shift into a different mindset. All it takes is one thought. And so the guide that I provide helps you shift from where you are now to where you want to be just by thinking one thought. Yeah.
Mm,
So
beautiful.
share
And people can find that on your website.
yes, they can, or I can post it in the description here or the comments here. Yeah, I can post
Okay,
it.
amazing. Yeah. Anything else before we go that you want to share?
I think just maybe I'll leave with a question. Who do you choose to be today? And just move forward with
Oh,
that.
yes. Who do you choose? Because you get to, right? You totally get to. And, that's so interesting that you say that, because I was chatting with someone yesterday who was talking about an experience and saying that this particular day they were so upset, and they were in that place where they didn't want to change their upset. Like, they
Yeah.
were like, they just wanted to, like, be mad,
Yeah.
and they just wanted to be upset. And then they realized that they have a choice to completely turn this around and
Mhm.
have a completely different outcome. And they called on that choice instantly.
Yes.
And so that's such a powerful way to look at it.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like we have, and we could choose to be in our mind drama as well, right? But that's where it's like the moment you choose to show up in a certain way, you step into power instead of thinking that, oh, the external circumstances is what controls you or other people control you. That's where it's like the moment you choose to feel a certain way, that's where it's like, okay, yeah, I step into power, whether I want to choose to feel angry or I choose to feel at peace. That's where it's like, it's all me. I'm taking full ownership for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
love
fun.
it. Love it. Thank you, Vanessa, for being here with us today. I just love you so much, and I am so
Love you.
grateful for all that you bring to Happy Healthy Women. Thank you for shining light. And if those of you who want more of Vanessa, go check her out in the Coquitlam branch or on her website here, 8020livingco.com. And for those of you who are looking to step into leadership as this amazing woman has, please do touch base with us at hhwglobal.com. Thanks, Vanessa, and thanks
Thank
everyone for
you.
watching. Have a great rest of your day.